Hey, what's up, fellas? This video is for Big Ogre, or on behalf of what he said in one of my comment sections anyway, on the AC compressor waste oil burner video. Let's check it out. He tells us the concept is great, but the compressor will die very fast. I've killed 6 of them, he says. So basically, he's killed 6. So Big Ogre, I've got an idea, man. Let's check this out. Okay, fellas, I've got one of these compressors chopped open here. We're going to take a look at it. And it appears that the air pressure comes from the center of the axle there. I've got just enough oil in this thing to where it starts to burp up. Now, I think if we fill one of these up with enough oil to get it to do that, that the convection and all that stuff from the oil and just from it sloshing around, that the exterior container itself will be able to cool the oil off enough to keep this thing under 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows, that I think this may be an H varnish, a class H varnish, which, if my memory serves me, can go up to 150 Celsius, which is hotter than hell. And that sounds right, because I have read on the sides of these things before where it says, danger, casing may reach temperatures of 360 degrees. I also want to point out something else I discovered during testing. This thermal shutoff switch has about a ½ ohm of resistance in it. I may take that out of the circuit altogether to increase the efficiency. Okay, this is the device running with the thermal switch. Okay, so we did get a little bit of a decrease in wattage there, guys. At no point was it ever hitting 40, I don't think, was it? I'll have to check the footage again. But we were hitting like 260 on the rig. So there you go. Just deleting this thermal switch. They're probably just really old and corroded, guys. I bet you there's a contact surface in here that's got corrosion in it. So if you go to repurpose one of these, just remember that, fellas. I'd almost bet $1,000 that if we took this apart, we would find a contact surface in here which has become just as corroded as the rest of the unit. Alright, fellas, so let's just make it a point from now on, if we're going to redo one of these, I am definitely taking this thing out of the circuit right away. The corrosion's got me freaked out. This one had 5 ohms, or I'm sorry, 1 ohm, or 0.5 ohms. It was very low, but it was enough to make me run this test, and we did get some wattage out of that. Not much, I mean, we're talking 10 watts at the most, but if you consider the fact that some soldering irons are 25 watts, that's a little bit of heat, you know? Okay, fellas, so basically what I've done is threaded this piece of 3/16 copper pipe with a number 10 FN 32 threads per inch. Did the same thing up inside of this sight glass as well, and just coupled it together. So hopefully this works as an oil return line. I have also drained the tank. It was not easy drilling this hole without getting debris down inside there, I might add. I ended up pressurizing the tank and having it on its side, and for whatever reason I got sprayed with a bunch of oil. I thought it was empty, and I was wrong. Here we go. Wow, it is really having its way with that oil there. It took quite a bit. It is drawing air through this. I just want to give it a second. Okay, I'll give it a little more here. It draws oil quite quickly. Look at that. That's substantial. This has got to be a miniature scroll compressor. Nothing yet coming up out of the other end. Okay, so we just drank about 12 ounces of fluid there. We're gonna fill it up with another 12 ounces. Here we go. Man, that thing has got an incredible draw. Oh crap, there we go. We overdid it just a bit. And we're shooting oil out the ejection. There appears to be a bubble coming out that end, so apparently the flow rate is enough that my oil return line idea isn't gonna work. Darn it. See if it drains back down in there though, at least. Yes, the oil is draining back down in there. So if we could get just enough oil in there to where the cup rides in this area maybe. I've got an idea. If we induce back pressure on the system, the size, the volume of the flow will be different. So we don't have any backflow being introduced. Let's introduce some back pressure. So that's with high pressure. Look, no oil shooting up out of here now. But yet we're still getting good flow. Oh wow. Guys, we're getting suction in here. Can you see that? It's making quite the mist. Dude, that is so cool. Ha! That's too awesome, man. Okay, fellas, here's the setup. We're just gonna go for it. I don't want to run any cooling on this thing right now. I want to see how durable these things are. I think it'd be best if we let this thing run, see what temperature it maxes out at. This is 30 minutes in. Another reason I'm doing this video, fellas, is because I've decided I'm gonna write a small book on oil burners that kind of puts together everything that I've learned over the past couple years on this channel. As you guys, a lot of you know that I went full-time with this business, quit my job about a year ago, and I'm just kind of sailing the 7 seas here right now. So definitely a scary ride. It's worth every second of it, but a lot of people ask me for plans on these burners, and I don't really have them per se. They're in my lab book. So what I'm going to do is draft up a small book that I'm going to try and sell as an ebook online or a PDF or an actual really nice book. I want to make a 150-page book made out of really nice glossy paper, kind of like one of them old chemistry books that you used to see that were from back in like the 1960s and 70s. Like just a really nice page, really good pictures, high gloss paper with a bunch of really cool diagrams and some stuff like this out of my lab book. This right here is basically one of my burner lab books where we really get down to the details, like on a bipolar level here. So what I want to do is take a lot of this information out of this lab book and put it into a coherent format that someone could read and learn how to build burners. All of this information, you know, and some of the pictures of some of this stuff running, the cost to make it. You know, there's a lot of really cool stuff in this lab book that's just hidden away. And I'm not into the patent game, guys. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to help people out who want to build stuff themselves as well. So there's going to be a lot of stuff out of this book. It's going to be in there. I was working on this diagram earlier. It's going to be chock full of really nice diagrams. My printer ain't working too good here. But really super detailed diagrams that give you the exact dimensions of everything, where to get the parts. It's going to be a book about this thick, I've decided. But I want it to be a really nice book, man. I don't want to use these crappy yellow pages, you know, like this here. I want it to be the best, most expensive paper I can get my hands on. I want it to be the type of book that a person is glad to own, you know. And we're going to fill in all of these data sets on all of the burners that I've built, and we're going to just fill this book up full of all the designs and testing that I've done, all of the really serious details of nozzle configuration. We're going to have a lot of graphs and things like that that other people can read. Like, I can read this graph at the drop of a hat, but that's because I'm the author. Common person would look at this and be like, what the hell? And for good reason. But I can relay this in a much more coherent format than this. This is basically just showing the effects of a nozzle position in a Ventura setup. And it comes to find out that flush is in fact the best in most scenarios. But as you can see by this graph, we were definitely getting more draw with the nozzle sticking out. However, at lower settings, it doesn't work very well. So that's why all my nozzles have the interior fuel penstock flush. Because look at what it does. It's all over the map depending on where you have it. So for the best universal configuration, it's here. So this would just be cool stuff to have in that book. You know, I've just got all this information on some exotic burners that I never intend to patent, but yet are just monsters, man. They work so well. So that's what we want to do. It's a pretty cool book, man. I think we need to do something with it. You know what I'm saying? So here's the scoop, fellas. I've got about, I don't know, 300 friends on YouTube right now that I comment with on a regular basis, and you guys been keeping tabs on the crazy stuff I got going on with my personal life. So just let it be known from now on, the next string of videos we're going to be seeing, except for one, I know for sure. I've got a review I got to do for a company, but all the videos we're going to do from this point on are going to be to populate this book. Let me show you what we got here. I'm using a pretty cheap QuickCAD software to publish this thing, but I want to put some nice pictures like of my glass wall experiments. This is a glass wall combustion chamber that I did my first Little Dragon combustion burner test on. And it was a really cool video. There's a lot of really cool information. And this is kind of how I want to format the book, with actual pictures of the machines working, as well as having very complex, easy to see diagrams that give you the exact dimensions and the part number, the part name, all that kind of stuff. So I've just been kind of drawing stuff in this software. I want the cover to look something like this. This is the name I'm thinking of going with. I don't have a name picked out for sure yet. This is just a rough draft, guys. And I've got all the chapters picked out, what's going to be in there. And this list here is all the burners that are going to be in the book. And we have seen all of these. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the phone like an idiot. All of these burners are on the YouTube video, or on the YouTube channel. But I just think it would be so cool to have these in a book that you can just grab and go straight to the burner you want to build I'm thinking about selling books on just the specific burners. So I might just sell a how-to manual on this thing here if you want to build this and you don't want the whole book. You know, like a little $5 PDF or something like that. So that's where I'm going. I'm just kind of trying to do something that, just another form of generating income. Things are doing okay, but I need to amp this up like by a factor of 50. We're just screwing around with all these oil burners and stuff. Man, I've got ideas so much cooler than this that we could be messing around with that I don't have the money to do anything with. And I think it'd just be a waste. So I've seen this type of book online that sells for up to $150 for like forges and foundries, but they're all gas burners. Burning propane is expensive, man, and I get asked questions all the time from blacksmiths and the like, people wanting to convert because of their tank losing pressure or the cost. So that's what we're going to do. When we come to a page in the book, it may require the output of a specific burner. We're going to do a video that day for that page of the book, and we'll kind of look at what we come up with. And we're going to take all the data and information out of this book, and we're going to use it to make something amazing. I want to write a badass book, man, something that just makes you want to pick it up and thumb through it. When's the last time you picked up an awesome book just full of cool shit that you ain't never seen, man? When I was younger, you didn't have the internet, you know, and I loved these kind of books, and they just don't exist anymore. And it's something I gotta do, guys. I want to do it. I think there's a lot of stuff in here that isn't going in the book, but for the most part, man, I just think it'd be a huge waste. So for you group of guys I've been talking with on a reg, man, give me your input on this. What do you guys think about this oil burner book? It's not just going to be oil burners. You know I don't do just that. It's going to be propane, all that stuff. Show you how to get out of any problem you might encounter in any process that requires a lot of heat, you know? So I just don't know if it would be a wise idea to try and write a book this day and age. I mean, there's the ones on Amazon and stuff seem to be selling, and they're $150 some books, used $75 for a foundry burner book. Pretty cool books. I just don't know if anyone would buy it, so it could be a huge waste of my time. But I've got to try to find another way to generate income around here. We're putting along, man, and I need to find something to kick it into fifth gear here. So tell me what you think, fellas. Should I mess with this, man? Is this a waste of time? I mean, there's some really cool stuff in that lab book, and there's a lot of incoherent just babbling all over my channel that in the right hands, you know, someone with patience, someone with focus. That is not focus. Dude, I got Post-its on top of Post-its here, man. I'm never gonna finish. Are you kidding me, bro? Really? Yeah, I'll get right on that tomorrow, brother. I've just got too many damn ideas, and it's not a good thing. It's not, because you just end up a wash. You know, I get carried away by the next exciting adventure without ever finishing the first journey. So we're going to do this oil burner book one way or the other. And here's the thing, even if the book sucks in the sense that it doesn't sell, I mean, a lot of cool things don't sell. They're just, the pricing's bad. I will have that book to answer the questions that all my customers have. Just be able to flip it open, bam. I can kind of do that now, but things are a little scattered, and you got to know how to read Egyptian hieroglyphs sometimes. So that's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm not going to be a prick and hide all my secrets to make money and sell burners to people who are fully capable of building their own. I'd rather just kind of ruin the market for anyone else who might think of starting the business and spread the secrets everywhere and help out people who want to build their own. You know what I mean? There's always that group of people who can't build their own, first of all. Either it be because it would require them to buy about $1,000 worth of tools to do that. This book here is older than I am, but the pages are still glossy. It's a really nice paper. This is a bad example because this book's just so old. I mean, this photo right here is just awesome. And this is a really old book. This is like, I ripped it up. I don't think we're going to get any copyright info out of this thing. It's definitely older than me, but you can see it's just nicer looking. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, man. Is it worth wasting the money and making the book possibly too expensive? People might not want to buy it. So I don't know what I'm getting myself into here, fellas. Let's look at the logistics. 150-page book, huh? So if you're a true champ and you pull off a page a day, which you won't, your girlfriend ain't gonna let that happen. Your fiance, I guess I should say. Yeah, this is gonna take a year. If I get a decent, really nice page cranked out every day, 2 pages a day, I could do it in 75 days, but it's kind of hard to try and do that. You want to put at least 3 or 4 hours into some of these pages. This is a technical book. This isn't a poetry book, so you got to kind of sit there. Sometimes producing a single sentence in this book will take me 4 hours of experimentation. So yeah, maybe that's why I seen one version of this book was for $450. The first edition of Forge and Foundry Burners that I saw on Google Books was a $450 book. And when you look at the logistics of it all, you can kind of see why. The money that you will have to spend to populate the information of such a book is extraordinary. If you've already got the assets on hand, then hey, that's capital, right? But if you don't, so we're going to try and make as much money off the YouTube channel during writing this book or compiling this book. It's pretty much, I'm going to call it compiling a book because it's not writing. Experiments have to be done. Videos have to be made. Graphs have to be populated. I don't know that I would call that writing. But yeah, I'm shutting up, fellas. I'm keeping you, man. So that's the agenda from here on out. That's what we're doing. We're going to write this damn book. I don't know if this is a good or a bad idea, but I don't want it to be a shitty book, so it's going to take a long time to do this.